There's a lot of creators that I follow that, again, when you're like, if you're interviewing someone, you're making them the expert, right? You're not the expert. You're making them the expert. You're making them the superstar. You're saying how amazing they are, blah, 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 and asking them the questions. And the content that comes out of it is really focused on them, which has its advantages. We could go into all of that, but it really does. And I've done that for so long. Going on other people's podcasts is great because, again, now I'm the expert. But doing solo content really makes you an expert, right? Where you're teaching a subject, you're the one talking, maybe it's a trending topic or something like that, and you start going into it and like no one's asking you questions, you're delivering, and I did that actually a lot during my Breakfast with Champions days in Clubhouse, right? And yes and no. They shortened up the time, and so they've had that Breakfast with Champions has had multiple owners. So Glenn Lundy started it, then it went to Ramon Ray, and then now it's Mary Lynn Wilkins.
I'm impressed that Clubhouse is still around.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
No,
that was a detour.
Good. No,
okay.
Yeah.
So back to
solo
shows.
Yeah, solo content, because you're going to be able to extract a lot of value out of that, a lot of micro clips and things like that, and even the long form is going to be great, and the audience gets to really know you as the host, right? And I follow a lot of creators. So if you think about that, like now some of these are going to be political, and you're going to instantly know like my affiliations when I say who I follow, but okay, so. Candace Owens,
See, I don't know these people.
You don't know. So,
it just goes to show.
Yeah.
Trevor and I are on different sides.
Ben Shapiro, like they do these monologues, right? And they're great. They are awesome. So I'm like, okay, I think that's the next iteration. Yeah. I'm going to start doing more monologues. And
I look forward to hearing those.
Yeah, thanks.
Do you think you'll concentrate on certain topics or just whatever you're thinking about that day?
Well, I think right now the goal is to create a ton of financial related content. So I'm just going to hammer all that out. Well, once I've done that, I think after that's done, I think it's going to be more about, I guess, what I'm going through, experiences that I'm going through. Because it's almost like a time capsule. Like a podcast is like a time capsule.
Yeah. It's kind of like what's happening right now, what you're thinking about right now.
Yeah.
I was just curious when you said that you were kind of getting bored of interviewing.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that come from?
I've done it so many times. I've just, this isn't boring to me.
Good.
Yeah, no, this is good. You're like, good. It better not be.
No, you're no longer my friend.
I enjoy this because it's just natural. The other types of interviews that I do, it's like the same crap. I mean, I'm sorry, like, to my audience, I love y'all, but I've been crapping on y'all for years with this. I'm interviewing these entrepreneurs and these authors. I get it. You got a book. That's great. Cool. Like, what's so funny is, like, everybody's a best-selling author, podcast host, TEDx speaker. Like, everybody.
Well, we're also, I think, very saturated. And I've been thinking about this recently. Like, what is it going to take to really stand out? And I think the ones that will stand out are the ones that will dig deep. So I have a word of the year.
Okay.
We always have a word of the year. My last year was fun. This year it's depth. Do Do you have a word of the year?
So, it's a good question. I would like to carry my. Can I carry over my word from last year?
Oh, yeah? What was it?
Can I just do a word of the decade?
Okay. And it is?
Freedom.
Freedom. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Freedom. I can see that for you. Yeah. So, where was I going with that?
Depth.
So, I think the difference now is I want to ask myself before I select a guest, is this a person that has done the work with themselves, that has a high level of self-awareness, that is okay looking deeply and then sharing it with other people? And then I think then that will make for a better guest. People that are willing to dig deep, that have done the inner work to be more self-aware, and then know that they don't have anything to hide anymore. And then they can share that with the audience.
They can just be themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can
like
just
even you, like I think you being able to share about your difficult childhood and the trouble that you've gotten into, I think that resonates with people. And being able to be open about it and it's not even like a sob story or anything. It's just something that you've learned from and you've overcome, and now you use that to make you stronger.
Yeah, it's
right?
just part of who, it's part of who I am.